Sam Presti, they've been together for over a decade. They've worked together, worked through a lot of things, and this will probably be the final thing they work through together. And Oklahoma City is on the market to find a trade for Westbrook, and Westbrook is behind the idea. Both sides feel as though with Paul George gone, with the team no longer in contention, with $170 million left on Westbrook's deal on a team that's headed toward a rebuild, the end has come for Westbrook and the Thunder.
In your report, you mentioned Miami might be one of those teams looking at that situation, and Russ would be okay with that. Do we know of any other teams Russ is talking about, maybe any teams that he would prefer to go to?
Well, listen, I think certainly Russell is going to have some preferences of where he'd like to play, but right now, Oklahoma City has to figure out what's the marketplace, what teams are interested, how many teams are interested and want to really seriously engage the Thunder. Westbrook's contract, 4 years, $170 million. He's hit that 30 years old threshold. And so it is not going to be every team in the league where this will be a fit for them. So I think before Westbrook is necessarily going to be able to furnish a list of teams that he'd like to play for, they've got to get a sense in Oklahoma City of who'd like to seriously talk about a deal, and that market is still forming. Certainly Miami is going to check in on this, and Westbrook, I'm told, feels very positive about the idea of the Heat.
Another interesting twist in this free agency in this offseason. I would love to see Jimmy and Russ get together. It could be potentially fireworks on and maybe even off the court. Thanks, Woj.
Thanks to Bill.
From the NBA that's moving rapidly. Adrian Wojnarowski reporting today that in the wake of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George teaming up to head to the Clippers, Russell Westbrook has given the Thunder his blessing to indeed trade him away. Woj had reported that discussions between Westbrook's agent and the team had begun over the weekend about the former MVP's future. These days, we just keep a roving camera on Adrian Wojnarowski. Right now, he's joining us live from the Summer League in Las Vegas. Why is this situation, Woj, with Westbrook gotten to this point?
Al, the trade of Paul George to the Clippers for 5 first-round picks over the weekend, and the fact that Oklahoma City is no longer in championship contention, it's moved Russell Westbrook to let Sam Presti, their general manager, know that he welcomes this process of finding a trade for him. The two sides, Westbrook and his agent Thad Boucher and Sam Presti, they've been together 11 years. Russell Westbrook will go down, certainly is probably the most popular player in Thunder history, but both the team and Westbrook are ready to move on, and I'm told they'd like to try to find something sooner than later. They don't want this to drag out if they can help it.
Okay, so speaking of not wanting this to drag out, are you hearing anything about a potential timeline when we could see a done deal?
Well, it's going to be a complex trade because of the money owed Russell Westbrook. 4 years, $170 million. Not every team in the league's in position to be able to put a deal together to make the money work. One team that has interest, I'm told, in Westbrook, and the interest is mutual, are the Miami Heat. But having interest in a possible deal and being able to execute it are still going to be two very different things.
The Thunder already traded away Jeremy Grant. I think it's pretty rare, Woj. You'd probably agree that in the matter of 3 or 4 days, we've seen an entire franchise essentially resign themselves to the fact they are no longer a contender and they are in total rebuild mode. So the Thunder already have a ton of picks. And then, of course, there's a potential haul for Westbrook. They just got 5 first-round picks from the Clippers for Paul George and the right to swap picks with the Clippers in 2023 and 2025. So essentially, and I need you to listen to this, potentially OKC could have 13 first-round picks in the next 7.
Playing in the same arena, I need help. And I need you to go and to get Paul George from Oklahoma City. Don't worry about whether or not Paul George wants to come, because I already spoke to that brother. And that brother is already telling the Oklahoma City Thunder he wants out and he is willing to come to the Clippers. Y'all got to get it done. And Steve Ballmer, the richest owner in sports, actually. Steve Ballmer, president of basketball operations, Lawrence Frank, head coach Doc Rivers, former executive of the year, arguably the greatest executive in the history of basketball, the one and only Jerry West. These are the 4 people that were in the room with Kawhi Leonard and his mama and his uncle Dennis Robinson and an agent and some other dude. These are the people that were in the room with Kawhi. What do? They trade 4 unprotected first-round picks, a protected first-round pick, and swap 2 players. And Danilo Gallinari and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So it's not like Oklahoma City got hosed here. They got an awful lot for Paul George, who's going to get paid $33 million next year, who's going to get paid $35 million the year after, who's got a player option on $37.8 million in 2021-22. And if you're the Los Angeles Clippers, considering the fact that you gave up so much, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Get the hell over it. It was a great deal. They had to do this. They had to do this. And you talk about Kawhi Leonard is the Don. He is the man. I want to hear the quiet storm and all. Let me tell you something. He is a damn quiet storm. The things this dude did behind the scenes. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, do you understand what has transpired here? This is a deal of epic proportions. You are the Los Angeles Clippers. You have clearly established yourself as a first-class organization. You got an elite owner and elite executive as his right-hand man. You got Lawrence Frank, who was a former coach and assistant coach in this game, who knows basketball, who works tirelessly. He's a hard worker. His assistant Ringer working under him. Great guy as well. And Doc Rivers is a Hall of Fame coach. People want to come play for Doc Rivers. Kawhi Leonard wanted to come play for Doc Rivers. Whether he's willing to admit that and tell y'all that publicly or not is his business. But I'm here to tell you that's what happened. And when you look at the Los Angeles Clippers, none of that would have amounted to a hill of beans if they had lost out on Kawhi. And Kawhi played put forth the ultimate maneuver. Kawhi Leonard sat up there, and we don't know whether he was bluffing or not, but it damn sure didn't appear as if he was bluffing. Kawhi Leonard sat up there and said, hell, I can't come to L.A. and play in the same city, in the same arena as the Lakers, competing against LeBron James and Anthony Davis and not have help. If y'all don't give me any help, there's nothing I can do. But if you give me help, I will come. And that is what he did. And as a result, I'm here to let you know right now, ladies and gentlemen, the best duo is LeBron and Anthony Davis. But the Clippers have a better team. At this particular moment in time, the pieces and the parts match better. I understand you went out and you're the Lakers and you recovered a little bit. Signed Danny Green. Might have overpaid him a little bit, but I like Danny Green. You signed him. Okay. Was it 2 years, $30 million, Nuno? I think that's what the number was. I don't have the paperwork in front of me. You got Danny Green. You brought back Rajon Rondo on a 2-year deal. Boogie Cousins. Listen, I'm not fond of Boogie Cousins. He don't like me and I don't like him. But I'm fair. And let me tell you something right now. I feel sorry for the brother from the standpoint that you talk about a man that lost the money. Right now, Nuno, look at me when I'm talking to you. You can make a legitimate argument that Isaiah Thomas and Boogie Cousins are in competition for dudes who suffered injuries that cost them more money than anybody. Isaiah Thomas easily, them hips, playing with what he had to endure, trying to play through the pain, etc. That dude was in line to get anywhere from $150 to $180 million. Last year, he signed in Denver for a 1-year, $2 million deal. And now he signed a 1-year deal with the Washington Wizards. Boogie Cousins, ladies and gentlemen, the man walked around averaging 28-12. And his Achilles tear, which kept him out until last January. Then he came back and suffered the groin injury in Game 2 of the Western Conference first round against the Clippers. This dude ends up signing for a 1-year deal for less than $5 million. Boogie Cousins easily had 2 injuries that cost him over $100 million. and Isaiah Thomas. I mean, both of them, you can make a legitimate argument. It may have cost them about 140 to 150 million. Boogie Cousins easily cost them that much money. Isaiah Thomas, maybe a little less, but both of them, it cost them over $100 million. Last time we saw Isaiah Thomas completely healthy, he averaged 28.9 points per game, y'all. A couple of years ago. And look at where he's at right now. I mean, it's a tough. I mean, you got people in the media making more money than those dudes. I mean, I ain't gonna say any names. Don't tell anybody's business, including my own. But there are people in the media getting paid more than those two right now. That's how bad it is for them. No matter which way you slice it. But the Clippers are a better team. The parts match better. Ladies and gentlemen, what offense do you know is going to want to go up against the Clippers this year? Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are not only superstars in the game, but they're two-way players who are superstars. They're elite on both ends of the court, offense and defense. Is there a better defensive point guard in NBA basketball than Patrick Beverley? Who is he? I want to know who he is, because I don't know if there is. Montrezl Harrell, you kept him. Lou Williams, you kept him. How in God's name do you manage to pull off a deal with the Oklahoma City Thunder to get Paul George, and you are not forced to give up Lou Williams? Can somebody explain that to me? How does Sam Presti do that? I appreciate all the picks that he got. Please understand, I get it. Lou Williams, the reigning Sixth Man of the Year, a 3-time winner of the Sixth Man of the Year award, making $8 million. The most underpaid player in the entire NBA. There is nobody that is more underpaid than Lou Williams. Instant offense.